So, Jason, how are you doing? You're in recovery. You've been in recovery for a few weeks now. How are you feeling?
So I'm still exhausted. I'm past day 50 now. So I'm into my 8th week of recovery. I thought I was over it. And I've recently, the past week or so, been having extreme fatigue so bad it feels like I can't get out of bed. Almost feels like I've been drugged and, I can't get to my bed fast enough to pass out. So the first week was a nightmare. I spent 3 days in the hospital, couldn't breathe. Um, got out of the hospital. Fortunately, I rebounded pretty well from the treatment I got in the hospital. Spent a total of 25 days in isolation and was slowly getting better for a few weeks and going in the right direction. And it's really only in the past week or so where I felt like, I wouldn't call it a relapse, but I felt like I'm starting to slide a little bit and have some follow-up doctor's appointments scheduled to make sure I'm okay.
Yeah, I mean, I still hear you taking these breaths, like these quick breaths. And you were healthy prior to becoming infected with coronavirus. Describe what that experience was like at the very worst, and then tell us a little bit more about your treatment in the hospital. You did not have to be intubated, but tell us about that experience.
So the hospital experience, it was wild because you're isolated in a room and you're by yourself most of the time. The doctors and nurses really limit how much they come in there. As far as treatment, I responded pretty well to oxygen, just the standard tubes up the nose. They gave me a powerful drug to kind of fight the pneumonia in my lungs. I had pneumonia in both sides of my lungs, both upper and lower. And then they gave me a couple other kind of side medications, to prevent blood clotting and stuff like that, and just a bunch of Tylenol. But fortunately, I responded pretty well to that. And I was fairly healthy. I just had a physical in February. I need to lose a couple pounds. Cholesterol was a little bit high, but not high enough for medication. And that was it. I do have sleep apnea. It's under control. I treat it a couple different ways. So that's not really a lingering issue for me. So, I'm 42 years old and I'm probably healthier than most, I would guess.
And what are doctors saying about these lingering effects that you have? I mean, we always hear about people getting sick and recovering or don't even have any symptoms. They're able to recover at home and they seem to turn things around in 14 days. We keep hearing about this 14-day quarantine, but you said a month later, more than a month later, you're still here at home.
Yeah. So what I find interesting is every doctor I've talked to, and there's been at least 4 or 5 of them, they all kind of say these are our educated guesses and our answers right now, and the answers may change tomorrow or the next day or next week or next month. I was an early case, and they flat out told me we haven't really seen anybody personally who's recovered from this yet, so we don't really know what to tell you. They told me some of the hangover effect could last a month or two, and I still haven't hit 2 months yet. I'm about a week away from that. So this is all, I guess, somewhat normal. I don't feel sick anymore, which is good. It's just I'm exhausted all the time. And as you can hear, the more I talk, the kind of weaker my voice gets. Things like walking up the stairs leave me out of breath. So that's kind of where I'm at. And the doctors are kind of taking a, day by day approach to it. And I have a couple more appointments coming up, and that's kind of to check to make sure there's no lingering or permanent damage I have to worry about.
And Jason, what has surprised you the most about this entire experience, from your health to the way people have responded to you?
I think what surprised me the most is how many people, it's clear, just don't understand how this virus works, how it spreads, or why we've all been staying in our homes. It's been very frustrating to see, even from some of my own, friends and family who still don't understand how contagious it is. I hear a lot of people say, well, I'm willing to take the risk. Statistically, it doesn't kill that many people. I mean, it didn't kill me, and I'm still going through a nightmare, going on 2 months later. I keep telling people, you know, based on the timeline I'm on, if you were to get sick today, you would be out of work into mid-July easily. I would much rather wait another week or 2 or 3 and make sure we're doing this right before we reopen and get back to normal, than run the risk of getting sick because somebody breathed on me and missing, the next couple, months of work. It's really been mind-boggling, some of the things people have said to me. And I get it. We're not all doctors. I'm not a doctor, but a lot of this is just common sense, and I feel like people believe what they want to believe, and they don't really. I can't tell you how many people still aren't taking this seriously that I've seen personally.
Jason, thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and we're glad you are on the mend.
All right, thank you very much for having me.